Okay, two more pesukim that go together today. This is Mishlei 24, 15, and 16. And I think I mentioned this in the description that the second pasuk here, I feel like is one of the, if you ever need like a Mishlei pick-me-up, then this one definitely sounds like that, but I've never learned it in context before. So we'll see what happens.
What does that mean?
You'll see. Okay, Al Terov Russia. Tzadik. Now, this is a little difficult to translate because you have to realize it's talking to the Russia. So it's like, Al Terov Russia, Tzadik.
Don't ambush Russia.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and actually lead with you, Russia. Don't ambush the, what did you say, Neves? Yeah, the dwelling of the Tzadik. Al Tishadid Rivtso.
Don't plunder his crouching.
Yeah, Rivtso literally means crouching. So if you look at it, it says Tion, Rivtso is Makum Rivtso, Makum Asher Yishkav Shama Lanuach, Kamo Kara Ravat Karye. So his crouching place. Yeah, it's a strange word to use either way, right? Okay. Now here comes the uplifting part. Kisheva Yipol Tzadik Vakam.
7 times Tzadik will
fall.
Yeah, there's 7 times the Tzadik falls and he gets up. Urushaim Yikashlu Bara'a.
And the wicked stumble in wickedness.
I'm going to go ahead and just say in badness because I want to keep it as general as possible. Because okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like wickedness either.
Yeah. Also because Resha and Ra'a are not exactly the same.
Oh,
so that's another reason I wouldn't use the same word. Yeah. Okay. So Tishadid, Mitzustian says Tishadid is Melashon Shadida Ugzela, plundering and robbing. Okay, and then Rivsa we read. Okay. Sadi Gon says Al Terov al Neve Hatzadik Ki Ata Oselo Resha. Ata Oselo Russia. Okay, that's very different. So he's not translating it as you Russia. He's saying, do not ambush. I'll say, isn't laying ambush a thing that people do?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't lay ambush to the I think, I don't know here. I know Art Scroll loves translating the Neve as abode, right? As the abode of the Tzadik. Ki ata oselo. I think it's ata oselo. It's got to be Russia, right? Because the pasuk says Russia. Because you are, I mean, because if there's no Nikudos and I saw this in isolation, I would say you're doing wickedness to him, but
Russia.
You're making, Russia, but you are making him a Russia. The al tishdod makomo, and do not plunder his place. Okay, so you see he just translates rivtso as makomo.
That's a very different translation.
Very different. Ki hatzadik, because the tzaddik, af im yipol harbe, even if he falls many times. So classic in Torah 7 is standing for a bunch. Yeah, many times. Yakum, if he falls many times, he will get up. Of harashayim yikashlu bara, but the wicked will stumble in badness. Okay.
It does flow better than ours, though.
It definitely flows better than ours. Okay, Targum, which I always forget to look up. Lo tichman rashia ledire de tzadika velo sarchen beis meshrei. Metul de shuv'a zimnin nafel tzadika v'kai v'rashei mistaklin bevishta. Okay. Seems to be a straight definition. I'm going to assume that. Okay. Art Scroll says, do not lurk, O wicked one, near the habitation of the righteous one. They don't use abode. Okay. Do not plunder his resting place. For though the righteous one may fall 7 times, he will arise. But oops, that is not few. The wicked one will stumble through evil. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add through. We've got this ambiguous base. Okay. I'm going to delete this though. I find it says lurk also, right? I think arrow is ambush. I suppose you could say lurk. Lurk to me implies you're just like, hanging around.
It's like you're lurking, waiting to pounce.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess, it definitely does not contradict ambush, but, I feel like ambush is the normal translation. Okay, Luminos says, wicked man, do not lie in ambush by the home of the righteous man. Do not rob the place where he reclines. For 7 times the righteous man falls and gets up, while the wicked stumbles on evil. Okay, so let's go. We're collecting prepositions here. Alter says, do not enter the home of the righteous, nor plunder the place where he beds his flock.
What?
Okay, we'll see his explanation in a second. For 7 times the righteous man falls and gets up, but the wicked stumble in evil. So do not enter the home of the righteous. Here we go. alterations. The Masoretic text reads, "Do not lie in wait, wicked man, for the home of the righteous." Al te'erov rasha linuet tzadik. This is odd because lay in wait is something done to a person, not to a place, and because vocatives addressed to the wicked are not part of the rhetorical strategy of Proverbs. That's a good point, right?
Yeah.
That is a good point. But I wouldn't just change the text because of that. I would, right? So this is the
What
That
was
That was gonna be my question.
okay. So because the Russia is not an audience of Mishlei, right? Mishlei doesn't talk to the Russia, right? The translation adapts an emendation proposed by Fox, who I think is another academic, based on the Septuagint. Tavo inter for te'erov, lie in wait, and the deletion of Russia, wicked man, as a probable gloss. See, again, just if you don't like it, just delete it. That's the alters policy. Yeah.
What's that vocative?
I don't know, but I'm getting from context that it means an interjection directed at somebody. Let's look it up though. Reminds me of that thing we saw in the bottle of wine over Shabbos. Vocative soil, right? Vocative. Relating to or denoting a case of nouns, pronouns, and adjectives in Latin and other languages used in addressing or invoking a person or thing. So saying Russia, like addressing a Russia. Yeah. All right. So I don't hold that you should delete stuff you don't understand, but I think we should ask it as a question. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's just move this down. Yeah. So just to contextualize the lack of context, I, in my mind, knew this pasuk, but I only heard it as a standalone thing. A tzaddik falls 7 times and gets up, but the wicked stumble in badness. But when you put it with this pasuk, it just throws everything into question. Like, what are we talking? Like, first of all, now if I say tzaddik falls 7 times and gets up, what did you ask? What is it uplifting about it? I'm saying like, like, yeah, it is. But now you realize it's being addressed to a Russia. And the tzaddik thing is telling him why he shouldn't attack the tzaddik. So it's like, it just throws it into question.
Would you be able to tzaddik with the other two?
What about it?
Would you be able to put tzaddik underneath our translation?
Sure.
Oh, it's actually over there.
Okay, you can, yeah. Yeah, Yaakov?
Why is the Russia lying in ambush or trying to plunder the tzaddik's house?
Right, that is a good question here. Okay, hold on a second. Let me just put these closer together.
There are 2 ways to ask it, or 2 things that we ask in there. Why tzaddik is close to someone else, and why his dwelling place is close to.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's actually break this down in the into a bigger question, which is, what is the scenario here? Okay, so why is the Russia lurking in ambush, and why specifically for the tzaddik? Yeah. Did you say something else that I didn't put? Yeah.
Well, no, I wanted to answer Alta's question.
Oh yeah.
You can lie ambush to rob the place.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't mean that the place is a victim. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we might have touched upon this question with the asking on the altar, but I mean, why would the Russian care? Meaning, like you could tell him whatever you want, but like he's not gonna listen.
Okay, so let's ask Altar's question first, which is why are we addressing the Russia at all? Right? Is he really going to care or listen? This isn't a typical. This isn't typical of Mishlei. Isn't typical of Mishlei. And then we have yeah, David.
I don't know if this is part of Yaakov's question. Within the ambush, why ambush specifically of all forms of attack?
Okay, yeah. So what does ambush mean? And let's also add what is the meaning of neve and ravetz? Why is the Russia lurking in ambush? And why specifically for the tzaddik? I think that covers all of them. Yeah.
How is Zion addressing like related to to Tesvav?
What argument is being made in Zion for the case in Tesvav?
And specifically, if the first pasuk seems like Russia is doing it to get the tzaddik's money because he's plundering.
Yeah. Right.
And so saying, oh, the Tzaddik's gonna get back up is like, okay, fine,
Right.
that's great. I don't care.
Right. So, yeah.
I got away with his money.
Exactly right. So specifically, the Russia seems to want the Tzaddik's money. So why should he care if he gets up? Yeah.
You made me happy because you're wrong
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
Why is there an added command? Why are there two commands for the Russia?
Yeah.
Don't ambush and then also don't plunder.
Right. Okay. Yeah. What? Whoa. This is not clicking. Hold on. Let's try here. There we go. Okay. What are the two commands to the Russia? Yeah, Ariel?
Yeah. What would the Russia gain by doing this?
Seems like plunder, but we'll say what is the Russia trying to gain? Yeah, Yaakov?
Where's implied that so? It
Yeah,
wasn't mean, it wasn't kind of
right.
What is the meaning of Nevein?
Yeah, we got that up there. Yeah.
okay.
Isaac?
What does it mean for the Tzaddik to fall and get up?
Yes. Okay.
And then also the flip side is, what does it mean for the Russia to stumble in badness?
Yeah, to fall and get up. What allows him to do this? Okay, and then we have what does it mean for the Russia to stumble in badness? And then how is this the opposite? Right. So it's definitely being portrayed as the opposite. Yeah. Yeah, Ezra.
Kind of a tagalog for 4, but how is this a good reason for not plundering?
Yeah, how is this a good reason for not plundering? And then also, it's funny because I don't think this is like a question on it, but just an observation here. This is not going to stop the Russian from plundering someone else, right? Because the other person is not going to get up, right? So if assuming this is a good argument, seems to only really be addressing the case of the tzaddik. Now it's possible that the nature of the crime he wants to do is only for the tzaddik, and therefore, like, it's not upon, it's not like incumbent on Shlomo to address the other case, but just to note it.
So what's the difference? Is that the question?
What's the difference between
The tzaddik and anyone else?
Yeah. Does that include in any of ours? I guess, yeah, let's put this as a question, which is, what, if anything, does this pasuk have to say about a Russia plundering a non-tzaddik?
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of Batman and the Joker's relationship.
Okay.
And I have an answer.
You piqued my curiosity.
Yeah.
All right.
When the time comes.
Okay. Yeah.
So who is the audience? Is it actually the Russia?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
All right. Who is the audience? Is it so if it's an actual Russia, so then see question 2. Okay. If it's not, who is it and why is he being addressed as a Russia? Yeah. And again, according to Tzadik, it's not specifically addressing a Russia. Yeah. How is Tzadik going to be? Al terov Russia l'nevei Tzadik, and Tzadik said al terov al nevei hatzadik ki ata osel Russia. Al terov. Yeah, I don't know how he's reading.
Like,
It's almost like he's saying, don't. It's almost like he's saying, don't lie in ambush for the house of a tzaddik. Yeah, I don't even know. He's adding too many words. Yeah.
I think it's hard to read Russia with Minveit Tzadik.
Yeah.
Because there's a tipcha under Russia.
Let me look at the.
it's not a mercha on the tarot. So it's not.
Let's see
Not
here.
part of it.
Mishlei 24. Where are we? Ooh, it's in
Wow.
Mishlei now.
What?
The
Yeah.
I for those who missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shvanach. Yeah, so it's being because he said it's being added to all of Tanakh. So I guess they're up to because last time I checked, then it wasn't in Mishlei. Al terov Russia l'nevei Tzadik al tishaded rivtzo, ki sheva yipol tzadik v'kam Urushalayim yikashelu v'ra'a. So much easier to read for those of us who don't know the rules. So what did you say about this? Oh, Russia. Al terror of Russia. Lineveh Tzadik. Yeah, it's hard. Okay.
I haven't thought about question 8 one more.
A thought about question 8? Oh, you mean, okay, yeah. I think we have all the questions, right? Practical application is pretty straightforward, right? As long as we understand what the scenario is, it's telling this person not to not to do this thing. Okay. Ariel though wanted to share his Joker Batman theory. Is that? Oh no. Okay. The time is not right yet. Okay, go ahead, Isaac. Yeah.
So I think mine's going to actually have a different practical application.
Okay.
Because I think it's not addressed to Russia. It's addressed to someone. It's extolling the virtue of being tzaddik.
Okay.
And it's saying, I'm not sure if it's saying that Russia isn't going to plunder the Tzaddik's house,
Yeah.
or that even if the Russia does plunder the Tzaddik's house, that if you're a tzaddik, you can fall a bunch of times, but you'll still be able to just get up and keep going.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're Russia, you'll stumble and you won't be able to just like get up.
Yeah, definitely the effect of the pasuk is it makes you want to be a tzaddik, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't like falling. And
Yeah.
oh, hold on just a second. You're not actually quoting a line from The Dark Knight, are you? Because now I'm associating to that. Why do we fall, Mr. Wayne? Right?
I'm not quoting any of those, but when Isaac is finished.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
that was
Yeah.
I thought that maybe it's phrasing it as addressing the Russia, like, oh, like Russia, like, why are you even going to bother? It's not going to be effective in some, in some way.
Yeah.
But really the point is that be a tzaddik, because by being not addressing Russia, but to maybe to the son, be a tzaddik.
Oh, that's right. We're still talking to the sun, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about being a tzaddik so that because then you have whatever good thing is being described.
Right. Yeah, I just want to look and see if there are any pesukim after this that still explicitly address the son, because if so, yes. Okay, so 21 addresses the son. So we still are in the father's talk to the son. That is important to note. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if it'll undermine it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Yaakov? Sure.
This could be talking about Russia, who's trying to attack the side because he hates the side.
Yeah, that would be the motive for targeting specifically a Tzadik.
Yeah, and he's not plundering to get the money.
Right.
He's just trying
destroy
to
the guy.
Yeah, just trying to undermine the Tzadik.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but for some reason he's not openly attacking Tzadik. He's doing this, in a hidden, sneaky way.
Yeah.
He's taking the Tzadik's money or something to just undermine Tzadik's activity.
Yeah.
And then saying, well, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Tzadik has
Okay.
System,
I think that's a good assumption about what the puzzle is talking about. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. The time is now, apparently. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So let's understand the Joker for a second.
Okay.
All right. So like,
it's not a small question.
Yeah. From what I understood from watching, the movie, like it seems like he.
Wait. Yeah. Which are we talking about? Christopher Nolan? Or are we talking about Walking Phoenix? Yeah. The most recent.
The most Dark Knight.
Well, that's not the most recent.
Hold on.
We are talking about Dark Knight.
The one, I don't know, the trilogy.
Yeah, the trilogy. Okay, fine. Yeah. Because those are different Jokers. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. The Heath Ledger Joker. Yeah, I got it.
The Joker that I have in mind.
Yeah.
It seems like he wants to like show people that like if you seem like you're righteous, you're really not.
Right.
By undermining them.
All these people. Yeah.
So in his framework, right, he believes that you have, what you present yourself is not who you really are in your house.
Yeah,
in a way,
right.
So he's going to do whatever is necessary to undermine you.
Yeah.
Right, and you see, like
especially in the house.
Yeah.
Right.
Your inner self.
Yeah. Right.
Like, and he was successful with Two-Face, whatever.
Yeah. Harvey Dent.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But and he's trying to do, and that's his whole relationship with the Batman. And he says, like, without you, I don't exist. Yeah. Right. I think so. Right? Yeah. It's because like he's trying to undermine Batman so many freaking times. Yeah. But he's just not successful because Batman.
Yeah. No. This is.
Because Batman, like he may fall, or I don't know if he actually made him fall or not in the movie, but like he will always get up and he'll do tshuva because that's what tzaddikim do. Tzaddikim, like
Uh-huh.
I'll think of tzaddik.
Oh, that's
like,
interesting.
You know that a tzaddik will do tshuva later on.
Okay, all right. So yeah. No, go ahead.
All right, okay, I have more, but you can add.
No, go. Let's get it out on the table. Yeah.
So okay, fine. So to over here, and I think like in the dwelling place, because that's when you're like that's when you're most secure. Your guards aren't up, and that's like the best time to attack you.
Yeah.
The best time, and I don't know if it necessarily means money or whatever, but like
Yeah.
like, plundering your soul.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I like this approach. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize there was a nimshal there, so like plundering the soul and like tshuva.
Yeah. I don't think we have to say the nimshal. Like I think that I think you do have to explain why the Tzaddik's getting up, and that could be true. But I think we take the house literally, right?
Yeah, whatever.
Can you just extend that one more time for someone who maybe hasn't seen The Dark Knight?
No, you got to do tshuva on that. But that right now, what I'm understanding that we have here, and this is complementing what Yaakov's saying. Right? It's not like we're assuming here that the Russia is targeting the tzaddik Davka, and he's targeting him not because of the material gains, but because he wants to destroy the tzaddik, because he hates the tzaddik, or maybe the tzaddik actually is someone who's going to prevent the Russia from succeeding in his rishus, so he has to take the tzaddik down. So he's going to attack him in the place where he's most vulnerable in his home. Okay, whether it is a literal plundering or whether it is a Ariel's suggesting maybe if I get him there, then that's going to expose his hypocrisy or something like that, And then the tzaddik is going to have a certain type of resilience. Ariel's saying because of tshuva. I'm open to other possibilities as well, but definitely, the reason why yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be tshuva. It's just the tzaddik by very nature, if he falls, he'll just get up. That's just he's in that.
Okay, well, I want to understand that a little bit more. And the only reason I'm not sold on the tshuva idea is because it sounds like the tzaddik's not doing anything wrong. It sounds like he's being victimized. So tshuva is not the first thing I would think of here.
I'm not saying it has to be tshuva.
Okay, all right. So neither am I. And the one thing that you did not explain, that no one explained yet, is what it means Rishayim Yikashlu Bara.
Where is that?
The second half of the second pasuk.
But the wicked will stumble and pass. Oh, I know, because in his framework, he's assuming that everyone is really by nature wicked and they will stumble in their badness and they won't be able to get up.
What does it mean to stumble in badness?
And by exposing them, they'll exposing their bad that they live.
Wait, but are you trying to say that this is part of the Russia's motive? Because this seems to be contrasting.
Well, it's responding to his philosophy. And why
right. Okay, so you're saying, what you think is going to happen, you think you're going to make the tzaddik stumble and not get up.
Yeah.
But that's only Rishayim do that, but the tzaddik will get up. Yeah. Okay, I hear that.
That's
yeah. Yeah. Were you going to say something else, Ezra? Or no? Okay. Yeah, Yaakov.
Then answer question 2.
Sure. Question 2 is, why are we addressing the Russia? Yeah.
I think we have said before that the Russia can be addressed. It's just specifying practical consequences.
Right.
Russia
That's true.
Doesn't like that.
Right.
That it's not going to work out.
Yeah. So there's 3 possibilities here. Let's just talk about it with the audience. One possibility is what Isaac said, which is that this is not really for the Russia. It's really for the tzaddik in training. That this is a reason to be a tzaddik. The other possibility is it really is for the Russia. And this is an area where you can appeal to the Russia. And then the third possibility is that this is for someone who is on their way to becoming a Russia, or potentially can become a Russia, and it's telling him not to even start down that path because it's not going to pay off. Right? I think those are the only 3 possibilities. Yeah.
Could I possibly a fourth also?
Sure.
Not necessarily someone who's on the road to being a Rasha, as much as this is just a part of their IFS, a part of their personality.
Yeah.
And it's saying to not indulge in that part because if it's within that part of your personality, maybe you want to see a good.
Right. Oh, I'll tell you, I'll bring a raya for that is let's quote one of the most favorite things among a family who's present here. Olam she'eno shalach. I think he says it here. I just don't remember where the source is. It's in an obscure source, I know. Yeah. Here we go. In Nadarim. So this is the Nadarim Tesam Beis. Tanya Amar Rabbi Shimon Hatzadik Miyamai lo achati Asham Nazir Tame ela echad. The only time I partook of a Asham Nazir Tame was one time. Ba'adam echad Nazir min hadaram. So this guy came who was a Nazir from the south. Ver isiv shu yafe einayim betuv ro'i. and I think that's an expression used about David and Melech or about Shaul. That I saw that he had beautiful eyes and a goodly appearance. I remember that because I translated it as goodly appearance. And he had like his hair that was like going in curls or locks. I said, Bini, why are you destroying your beautiful hair? Amarli, he said to me, I was a shepherd to my father in my city. I went to draw water from the spring. And I saw my reflection. And my yetzer seized me, or was impetuous within me, and sought to drive me out of the world. So I said to him, to the yetzer, Russia, you evil one. Lama atamiz gai ba'olam she'eno shalach. Why are you taking pride in a world that does not belong to you? B'mishu asi lios rima batolea, to someone who in the future is going to be maggots and worms. I am going to shave you off. That's not talking to the Russia, that's talking to the hair. I'm going to shave you off for Shemaim. Miyad amadati v'nashaktiv al rosho. Immediately, Shimon, who's this? Shimon Tzadik stood up and kissed him on the head. Amarti lo, and he said, B'ni kamocha yirbu nozre naziros b'Yisrael. May there be many more Nazirim like you among Israel. Alecha hakazavomer ish kiyafli linder neder nazir lehazir lashem. And you're the guy who the pasuk is talking about. Yeah. So the reason I'm bringing this in is you see he's talking to that part of himself, the Yetzer Hara, and calling it a Russia. So that is a fourth possibility. Is you're talking to the Russia part of you. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say how I think the pasuk can read like that.
Okay.
It's a person who, it bothers him. Like something about the Tzadik, like it bothers him.
Yeah.
And he wants to like get him.
Yeah.
And it's the reason Russia has put it as an interjection is it's like you're a Russia for wanting to do that.
Right. Getting him in the identity.
Yeah.
That's where it hurts the most. Yeah.
And also specifically, Linavei Tzadik and Ritzo is like his comfort places. Like
Yeah.
He's comfortable there.
Right.
It's like unfair that he's comfortable.
Yeah. See, okay, I just want to make a methodological point. If this interpretation is correct, this does open it up to the whole thing being a mashal. Not the whole thing being a mashal, but saying that it's speaking metaphorically to this part of you, and in which case the tzaddik would be the Yetzer Tov.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm saying that like ordinarily we don't leap to this as an interpretation, but given the power of Alter's question of Mishlei doesn't talk to the Rishayim, if we're going to take that, then I am open to the idea that in the Nigle, this is talking to the Russia part of you and the Tzadik part of you. Yeah, Yaakov? Okay. Yeah, Ara?
Yeah, I mean, but to the flow of the pesukim, what would he say if you say talking to the band? I mean, I do have a thing like that.
I just got another raya. A raya for the fact that this is talking to the Yetzer Hara.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, wrong pair. With Cain, with Hashem's speech to Cain, Hello, Vayomer Hashem el Cain, Lama charalach v'lama naflu v'necha. Hashem said to Cain, why are you wroth? And why has your faith fallen? Hello, im tetiv se'es. If you improve yourself, you will be forgiven. V'im lo se'tiv, and if you do not improve yourself, lepesa chatas rovates. Sin crouches at the opening, right? Ve'elecha tishukaso, and its desire is towards you, ve'ata timshal bo, and you will rule over him. So plain shot is the chatas here is talking about the Yetzer Hara. Does the Targum say that? Hello, im totiv uvadach yishtevek lach. If you improve your actions, then you will be forgiven. Im lo sotiv uvadach, and if you don't improve your actions, the yom dina chetach netir. No, he doesn't take it that way. But there are definitely people who say that the chatas here is the Yetzer Hara, and so this idea of the Yetzer Hara lurking in ambush and using the word rovates, like that is an intertextual allusion, to use a pretentious term. I'm curious as to people's. I posed this question at lunch. What is the most pretentious term you use and are proud of, and the most pretentious term you use and you're not proud of? So I think that's another argument in favor of the fact that this is talking about the Yitzhara. Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if it is talking to the Ben, all this question falls off, right?
Yes, yeah.
I
And you still have to ask why is it calling it a Russia, and I think that's worked well with what Isaac is saying.
And going back to the point about because it's Tzadik, even he falls many times, and he will get up.
Yeah.
What does it mean if he falls many times? Does that actually mean he's
right? So now I've talked myself into the thing that you said you don't have to say, which is that if this is talking about all the internal family system, then the Tzadik falling means succumbing to the attack of the ambush of the Russia, right? And by the way, this is how the Yitzhara gets you. Is it lies in wait, and that's why the Yitzhara is called Sfoni, the hidden one, because it's unconscious and it's hidden and it lurks. Yeah, yeah. And I'm really talking myself into this approach here. Yeah.
According to this, what does it mean the Tzadik gets up?
That you can overpower the Yitzhara and do tshuva or resist its. Right,
you can, but it's not necessarily that you will.
No, right. But it's in the nature of the Yitzer HaTov to do this, though. The Yitzer Tov is resilient that way. Doesn't mean that you're going to use your bechira to actually do this, but yeah.
What is Rishayim? How is that?
Yeah. So the big difficulty here is Rishayim, plural.
Yeah. Not even that. Even if you say also the same Yetzer Hara, it feels like the Yetzer Hara is the opposite of the Kashu V'ra. If anything, it's more resilient than the Yetzer Tov.
Depends on what you say Kashla means. Because I think that what I would say, all right, just put this on the back burner for 1 second. What I would say just in isolation, Rishayim Yikashlu B'ra'a, is that the Russia does not have the let me think how I put it. Actually, there's several interpretations. Yeah, what were we gonna say?
Can't read the pasuk you're right. You can't read the pasuk as the Rishayim make the Tzadik stumble in Ra,
no,
right?
you definitely can. Yeah, that'd be Yachshilu, or I think probably something like that. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Makes sense.
Yeah. See, okay, hold on a second here. Okay, let me just throw this out while we're throwing ideas out here. What I was going to say, the way I've thought of this pasuk, not in context of just the Tzadik falling 7 times and getting up, and the Russia stumbling in Ra, is the way our working definition of the Mishlei Tzadik is someone who is living in line with the system, right, and strives to promote the well-being of the system. Now that is the internal system and the external system, and he lives his life based on trying to understand every component of the system and what its needs are and how those needs can be harmoniously satisfied in a way that contributes to everyone's well-being. Okay, the Mishlei Russia is someone who attempts to impose a foreign system onto the natural order, whose goal is self-glorification, that he wants to impose this thing and I am going to maximize my power and I don't care if I trample over everyone's needs. So what's going to happen is that system is not sustainable. Right, you cannot do that. You cannot be Scar in the Lion King and deplete the Pride Lands and just to try to get your own power, because you're going to destroy the ecosystem and then no one is going to flourish, including yourself. So it's only a matter of time before you stumble. And this is a huge thing in Mishlei, a huge thing in Tehillim, that Derek Rishayim Tovei, that the Russia is destined to fall because he's completely depleting the system. He's parasitic, and so it's going to happen. Whereas the Tzadik, he might fall in terms of, as a particular of the system, he might suffer loss, but because the system is objectively existing and it's objectively good, then as long as he keeps on contributing to that and helping restore the parts of the system, it's going to flourish again. That's how I would understand it in isolation. Now, does this have anything to do with our pasuk? Maybe. Yeah. Should we see what the Metzudas David says and just to get an approach here?
I thought that's the last place.
Yeah.
For the other approaches.
Yeah.
It seems Russia is being kind of sneaky here.
Yeah.
And saying that through you doing this ambushing itself, you're going to take a fall. But not only is it
so Ra in this Ra.
Yeah. Not only is it side being recovered, but through this itself, you're going to take a fall. Right.
That's definitely a Mishlei Comedic Mida. You try to do the Resha and you you end up being a victim of your own evil. Yeah, let's try to work this out a little bit more before we look at someone.
What needs to be moved up? I feel
Everything. Yeah. No. So one thing is the approach saying that this is all talking about the Yetzer Hara and Yetzer Tov. The other approach is saying that this is a Russia trying to bring down the Tzadik, like trying to victimize him. Let's actually work on that one because it's easier. So what about our question of, so now we answer our question, right? Which is that we said, if he's just trying to plunder him, so then who cares if he gets out? So that question only exists if he's trying to plunder him for the money. If he's trying to plunder him to destroy him, then he really doesn't want him to get up again. And if the act of victimizing him is going to lead him to suffer the consequence, then it's a completely self-defeating thing. He's not going to accomplish what he wants, except insofar as he's going to destroy himself, right? So why is this? And let's think of an example of this. I feel like working with an example would be good.
Example for
a Russia trying to bring down a Tzadik, and it ends up being that the Tzadik rebounds and the Russia is destroyed as a result of his trying to bring him down.
Like Haman and Mordechai.
Yeah, that's a good example. That works out, right? Yeah. So Haman just wanted to bring down Mordechai, not even for the profit, because he was even willing to give his own money for it. And his efforts. So let's see if we can understand in these terms. Why would the efforts? Because there's different ways to analyze Haman's downfall, right? So why would the efforts themselves bring him down? Yeah, that hurt itself. Yeah.
I thought about how the Tzadik gets up.
Okay, sure.
Because the Tzadik is constantly doing things for the good of the system,
mm-hmm.
He's almost like planting seeds for people to want to help him and
right.
and things like that. So like let's say when he helped the king to be assassinated,
right? Like
he wasn't doing it so that he could be saved.
Yeah,
he's just looking out for the system. He
right.
He doesn't want the king to get assassinated.
Right.
So he saves it.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's also like small things that the Tzadik does like that.
Yeah.
Where then like when he falls, he's able to rebound because he is constantly doing things for the good of the system.
Right. Okay, that's good. So one thing, the reason why the Tzadik gets up is he has a lot of he's invested a lot in the system, not so that he can get up, but for the well-being of the system, and that will help him. Yeah.
It's kind of like the quote, preparation meeting opportunity.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. He's gonna have the hashgacha. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
What was the question before that you had?
The question is, I was looking for a real world example, and then so we said Haman, and yeah, and I think part of this also is, see, what I'm trying to find is there something in the fact that Haman is davka trying to like destroy the Tzadik, that, because if you ask me why Haman had the downfall, I would say it's because he went too much into the world of ego and like let that blind him, So is there something in Haman's trying to bring down Mordechai that like led to his downfall?
That's the whole point that there was already gallows made.
Yeah.
Where what's his name?
Carbona, yeah.
To say like, oh, like there's a gallows right there.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not parallel to this example. It's not parallel.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah.
I think it's kind of like unsolvable force means immovable object.
Yeah.
Like the Russia has I think he might be able to convince people that he's like he might be able to blind people to the fact that he's a Russia to some extent.
Yeah.
But then when he's trying to take down the Tzadik, then people have to question whether either A, this Russia isn't the person who we thought he was and he actually is Russia, or B, this Tzadik isn't who we thought it was and he's actually the Tzadik,
Mm-hmm.
which means this guy's a Russia.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
And so like they have to by pitting himself against the Tzadik, then it's people have to,
it highlights the difference between them,
yeah.
Which is going to cause people to say, well, of course we don't want this helpful guy to be taken down. We're gonna go, yeah, right, yeah.
According to what we're saying, why is it that Russia's attacking the Nivei Tzadik and so?
Right.
Just the Tzadik directly.
Yeah. See, if you're talking about the metaphorical interpretations, and then the Nivei Tzadik and the Rivtzo is the body and the psyche. That is not for today. But if you're talking about the literal thing, So then, yeah, see, if it said base Tzadik, I would be more open to saying that that's referring to like his legacy or his like, what he like represents. I don't know what the connotations are of Neve and Revets. So let's do this. Let's look at some meforshim here just so we can get the gears turning for tomorrow. And I think these are two fruitful approaches here. Oh, I did not open the thingy. Mishlei. TC. Okay.
TC.
Taurus Chaim. Yeah, I didn't do T with an H with a little dot under it.
Yeah, that's not gonna figure it out.
Okay. We got honey here. Okay, here we go. Matthias David. Wrong page. Next page. Matthias David. Alterov Russia. Ata Russia. You wicked one. Bir oscha kimate yad hatzadik. When you see the hand of the tzaddik lowering, right? When you see him like he's on the downswing. Al terov al midosa maduro. Do not lay an ambush for his dwelling. Val tigzol makom rivton. Don't rob the place of his squatting. B'chushvacha, thinking kasher hecha linpol lo yosif lakum. Thinking that when he begins to fall, then he will not get up again. So basically, in other words, the mistake that Russia is making is, the tzaddik's starting to go down. He's going to totally go down now, right? That is a underestimating what the tzaddik's resilience is. Yeah.
I think maybe part of the reason that Russia makes this mistake is because that does happen to Rishayim.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Ki sheva, ki af im hatzadik nofel sheva pamim. Even if the tzaddik falls 7 times, sounds like he actually falls, not just is going down. Yachzor v'yakum, he'll go back and get up. V'harishayim him hanichshalim mibli tekuma. The Rishayim are the ones who stumble without getting up. B'vo alehem ra, when ra comes. Okay, so he's not explaining it. Let's look at the me'iri. Al terror of Russia, l'nevei tzaddik, al terror, blah blah blah. All right, milas Russia he kriya. It's a vocative. I assume that's what it is. Kolomar ata harasha, you wicked one. Al terov l'nevei hatzadik l'haziko l'shadin makom rivto v'tachnuso. Ki im tasekein. If you do this, Hashem yatileno v'yiten oscha tachtav. Hashem will save him. Yatileno, and he will put you in his place, meaning you're going to be the one who's destroyed. V'ra'a asher hisnakalta lasoslo, with the evil that you conspired to do against him. The sheva yipol eno cheshbon muduktak. That's not an exact count. It's not like a cat with 9 lives. Rak sheva mispar hasheva nahuga b'harpim makomos. Sheva toevos. Oh my goodness, that's interesting. Sheva kachato sechem. It's funny because Mishlei uses 7 in a davka way in many times. So it's funny he doesn't quote that one. Okay. Yeah, like Hashem hates 6 and the 7th one is but maybe you could say that's because it says 6. Okay, 7 times your sins. Sheva
lists what they are.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Sheva biyom hilal ticha. I will praise you 7 times. V'hu kederech rabos raos tzaddik umikulim yasilin Hashem. It's like saying that there are many bad things that happen to the tzaddik and Hashem saves him from all of them. V'yad lo ha'onish, and it promises the punishment. V'amar urushaim yikashlu b'ra, klomar b'ra achas. Oh, so ra is singular. O pirusho, or it means b'ra asher zadu hatzadik. Okay, so that's why I wanted to translate it as badness. It could either be the badness that happens to them or the badness that they do. Yeah.
B'ra achas is 1 time.
1 time. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. One thing can bring them down. Yeah. Like the Matthias David. Yeah, correct. Yeah, Uvaderech Nister, Kara Hamel Chazaki in Russia. Okay, so that's what we were saying. It calls the evil the old king of Russia. Old king it means the Yetzer Hara, the Hayel Miskin, and the poor youth. That's the Yetzer Tov Tzadik. V'amar Kisheva Yipol, Klomer Im Lefamim Yipol Barishto. Even though the Tzadik falls into the net of the Russia sometimes, Lefikach Tzadik Yakum. Lefikach. That's funny. He says Lefikach. Therefore, the Tzadik will get up. Rushaim Yikash Lebarav Yiplu Balta Yakumu. Yeah, so I really want to tomorrow understand this in the metaphorical way because I feel like that's going to be the most useful way because I don't know about you, I'm not a tzaddik, but I definitely have a Yetzer Hara, so this would be good. Let's just do one more because we have like 1 more minute. Who do we want to do? Rabbeinu Yonah? Is there a Rabbeinu Yonah? Yes. Okay, Rabbeinu Yonah on the previous page says, Alter of Rosh L'Nevei Tzadik, Imra Isa ki hatzadik mismotate. If you see the tzaddik faltering, Alter of L'Nevehu. Do not lay an ambush for his Neveh. Lomar Masai Yemachruhu v'Echenu. When will he be sold and I will buy him? Okay, that's got to be metaphorical. Valtishadi Rivtzo. Don't plunder his rovats. Im gala mipnei anyo v'dachko. If he is, I think, exiled. Yeah, if he's exiled because of his poverty and his state of lack, al tishadid rivto, don't plunder his dwelling place, meaning don't try to move into his house. And don't say in your heart, he's not going to come back home. Kisheva yipol tzadik v'kam. V'chein amar David alav shalom rabos raos tzadik umikulam yatzin Hashem. We might need to look into that pasuk, by the way. Shomer kol atmosav achas mehin lo nishbara. God guards all of his bones, not one of them is broken. Urushaim yikashlu bara. Ra achas bilvad yikashlu. In only one ra they will fall. Lo tiyeh lahem tekuma lifnei mikra echad, and they will not have any getting up even after one instance. V'chein amar. It also says David Melech says Timoses Rasha Ra'a. The death of the Rasha. Ra'a is the death of the Rasha, I think. Ra'a achas Timoses also. One Ra'a will kill him. V'lo yinatal mimeni. He won't be saved from it. Amru zal derech mashal nafal tivare chadad sakina. I don't know what that proverb is. Nafal Torah chadad sakina. The ox. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that has to do with this.
Sounds like
that's what I was thinking also. Yeah, that's the only way I know the word Torah. Yeah, yeah.
Well, first of all, that proverb sounds like if the shore falls, then it's not going to be fit for anything.
Oh, right. You might as well sharpen the knife. Yeah. Right.
I haven't thought about what's going on.
Okay, and then we'll stop. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Russia creates a facsimile of himself as being a great person.
Yeah.
And I think because he thinks that anyone who looks like a great person is secretly a Russia inside.
That's interesting.
He doesn't.
Right. That's like the Joker's mentality.
He
right.
doesn't think that there's actually good people.
Right.
That.
Okay. That's a good thing to explain his mistake.
Yeah. And so he's like, I'm gonna take down the Tzadik because it's gonna get exposed.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it's saying it's a mistake because the Tzadik actually exists. The actor is going to get back up a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But you're going to get exposed and fall, and you won't be able to.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
How is that different than the Batman versus Joker approach?
It's not necessarily different. Yeah. Okay. Good. I think this is a fruitful. We got fruitful approaches here, so I'm excited to see how we develop it tomorrow.
The Joker didn't come out back in the day. That's it. That's the meforshim.
They said Zehu Joker. That's what Tzadik would say. Yeah.